few things which please somebody call Arjun again because of some technical error he left the session. Okay, done. We came back. Okay, so finally, let me start this session without waiting any more minutes. Uh, I'm taking you through the first unit, introduction to Python. Just a glimpse of the first unit. Directly, I will be switching over to data types in Python, so that it is very much familiar that what we are doing and how we will be proceeding with the programming language. Okay. So for time being, mm, time to join. Okay. Let me give you the presentation on the part. So let me start over again. So this is your introduction to Python. This was basically a chapter first, which I covered with a few technical things, with the technical programs. I have the screenshots for the programs, and I'll be taking you through those programs. Okay. Mm. So let's see this introduction to Python. Is a programming language used to write codes for computer programs. So it is a you can say easy, fast-driven, English-based programming language, which is having software-based, hardware-based, scripting-based, and operating system level programming features. It is also used for statistics programming as well. Okay, it's created by Guido van Rossum, the scientist or the professor, you can say, of National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science. Okay, the language was released in 1991. Basically, it was released in 1991, but it got started developing in 1989. Okay, so from 1989, from basic, so the basic unit of Python um, is your there is few basic points. So basic one is a basic language, and other is a second language was there, assembly language, you can say. uh, basic and assembly languages were two uh, uh, building stones of were two uh, you can say building uh, pillars uh, for developing Python. Okay, so there was third language as well, but it was kind of ABC language, I think so. It was we used to call it as an ABC, but it was also like a assembly language only. Okay, now moving to working. So computer is having three stages: input, process, output. Input you are giving, it getting processed, it gets output. So these are basics I have already covered. Easy to learn. Python is easy to learn. There is no complexity in the syntax. General purpose language. It is a you can say a general programming language which can be integrated with different platform with different languages. Let's suppose I'm developing a Python program or a Python code or Python software. So it can be used at different levels, such as it can be used at website level, such as it can be used at your um, um, game development, at your robotics level, at your statistics level, at your scientific level, at your research level. Okay, next is your platform independent. This is basically total platform independent. Means if you are executing a particular Python program on one platform, let's suppose I'm executing my Python program on um, a particular PC. Now I require another PC or third PC or fourth PC or n number of PCs. I want to run the Python program. Simply, I will be shifting over my programs there, and I will be running there. So it is platform independent. It just requires a basic installation of Python executable folder. Okay, it is simple in structure. No syntax, complex syntax is there, such as curly braces or parentheses. Such kind of things are not available. You just have to write the code. You just have to give the indentation. So one of the crucial part is indentation of Python. So you can say indentation is the fundamental. If I explain you in normal English form, it is a fundamental um, invisible part and the basic pillar of Python language to be worked upon. Indentation. Okay, few keywords are there. Keywords, token, identifiers, literals are there. So tokens, these are the tokens basically. Tokens is a literal unit. So you are having
What
keywords. You
are
are
these tokens?
hello. Who is asking the doubt? Arjun, yes,
Yes,
please.
sir. Sir, what are these tokens?
So tokens are lexical units, a small unit which is required to execute something or run something. Okay, let's suppose in your English language you are having the grammar syntax to frame a particular sentence. In Hindi you are having a vyakaran to frame a particular sentence. So those grammar, that particular grammar or that particular vyakaran or the or in mathematics you can say the formulas, the derivations are your basic fundamentals. So similarly, these tokens are your basic fundamentals, such as indentation I told about. First is your indentation, the spaces which you give. Second, second is your tokens. So these are things which are literals. Literals means units, a small unit which is required to execute something or run something or take the output from some program or multiple statements. Okay, so I'll be explaining you in more further in detail in next slide. Okay, uh, a few keywords. So which I told, tokens are the superset, and inside that token you are having the subset such as keyword, such as identifier, such as literal, such as your punctuators. So these are your basic syntax, basic defined syntax of Python. It is case sensitive. What do you mean by case sensitive is that whenever you are writing a letter, small letter or capital letter, or whatever you are defining, so in that case it should be specific. Let's suppose if the programming is asking to write a particular keyword, so that particular keyword will be program specified. So that program specified keyword will be case sensitive. Case sensitive in the sense, um, you can say it should be in small letters. You can't change its case. You can't change its lowercase or whatever you want. So it should be specific to the case, what for what it is defined and how it is defined. Okay. Two different modes of working are there: interactive and script mode. So in these two working modes, you will be having um, if I take you through interactive mode, the line by line execution of the programming code. So I'll be taking you through the syntax. It will be better to understand. So let's suppose this is my window. I have written this is my shell script of Python. Okay, if it is visible to each and everyone, this window. So this is a predefined Python 3.7.7 I have installed 64-bit. So let me write a particular number equal to any, you can say. So you are writing this number, it is getting executed. So once it got executed, this triple greater than sign means Python prompt. This is your Python prompt. It prompts the terminal. It prompts the terminal to execute the code and get out of that code if there is no error in that code. If there is no error in this code, you see this again a triple Python prompt. You see this triple Python prompt, which is saying that in your previous line, there was no error present. Okay. Now, if I print this number, so print is your predefined keyword for the programming language. So see, I have given the number. In the memory buffer, this number is already saved. Now when I am printing that number, it is giving you the output. So this is the interactive mode where you are giving a particular line, you are getting the output for that particular line. If I'm not printing anything, let's suppose now I'm printing a user defined syntax. um, uh, bye. So bye bye. I'm printing this. You see the output of this code. So this is user defined code. You don't require to give any input or variable to this, as I have given earlier. You just give the input to this and you will be getting the output for that. So this is the interactive mode which you understood. Now if I let me share the one more screen with you. I'm going to share that particular screen with you.
सर अगर हम उस
Wait a
2345 नंबर के अलावा 007 लिख रहे तो चल क्यों नहीं रहा है?
007. It will
सर मैं नहीं
work.
कर रहा.
I'm showing you. So you just change the let me see. I'm executing that part. Now you are able to see this screen now. So I'm giving n equal to 007. So invalid token.
Sir, if we will write 008, so what will happen?
Wait. What you are saying? What I'll write
8. सर ये 007 पे क्यों नहीं चल रहा?
So at 008 it is working. It is not working. Let me see. N equal to 03.
Sir, it will be
Is it
work
working?
as 008. N is equal to 008.
Sir, I think zeros are not valid for this.
No, zeros are valid. You can work with zero, but you have to specify, I think so. It is not. Okay, it depends that this is by default, it is taking the range of int. So the range of int is your from minus some value to plus some value. So it is covering all the whole numbers. What it is doing? It is covering all the whole numbers.
Sir, 007 भी whole number है.
It is a whole number, but it is not coming inside your -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or -2, -3, -4, -5 till the limit it is being asked. So there is a limit of a particular data type. It is starting from minus going till the plus limit. So the number is very big. Anna, it is I think so minus 214 something, going till 0, and from 0 it is going till your plus 214 something. So it is a bigger number data type.
सर तो लिमिट क्या है?
Let me see the number. It is 2147483 648. So this is the number.
सर
Okay.
इससे तो छोटा
So
हुआ.
which number?
007.
007. So it is not taking the 00 part, na? It is taking a whole number part only. The whole number in the sense you are saying the first number should be a digit.
अच्छा.
Anna, it should be a digit. So similarly, if I say if you are defining a variable 0n, then also it will not take. If you are defining 0n equal to some number 5, it will also give you error saying that this variable is not proper. The syntax error is there. Similarly, you are having 0 there, 00 whatever you are giving. So it is generating an error.
सर अगर हम सिंपल 0 के इक्वल करें तो?
See it, check in your window.
हाँ सर काम कर रहा है.
Correct. So I have told now it is going from minus 214 some bigger number to 0, and from 0 it is going to plus 214. जो भी the number is 2147483 647. So this is a big number, and so don't be focusing on number. Okay, I'm giving you one more thing. So you understood this thing. So script mode. I'm showing you the program for script mode directly because my spider is not on my system right now. Or I can start. You are able to see the screen, the PPT one.
नो
Please,
सर.
anyone now? You are not able to see. Okay, I'm stopping the screen. Stop sharing. I'm giving you the another screen to look upon. So to see this, now you are able to see. I think so. No? This is the last program we did in last class. Okay. So this is a these are your comments. You are able to see at the above green color. These are this is an online compiler of Python. So I have explained them the online compiler of Python, how it is working online. Okay. So the new students who are there, you just go through, you just look over this, how I am explaining you the things. In the next class, I will be taking you through Spider and this online compiler with the programs, because today I am having the theory part. So integer I have covered, and the previous part I have covered. Float is there and string is there, and input function I have already covered. So I will be recapitulating that particular input function. You do one thing: you go through these things: input data type, float data type, string data type. You go through your input function. You go through operator functions and types of operators: arithmetic operator, bitwise operator, you are having logical operator, you are having relational operators. So what are these operators, so that in next class I will be covering in more quickly, so in a more in a faster way. Okay. So triple quotes is your multi-line comment. Okay, triple quotes are your multi-line comments, whereas an hash is your single line comment. You understand this part, and these comments are not going to execute whenever you are executing a particular program. Remember this thing. Okay. So all tokens are lexical units, which I have already told you, I have already explained you, are having their specific meaning, use a specific position. Okay. Okay. So I'm having Hash is a single line command used to comment a code. So hash is a single line comment used to comment a code in programming language, which I already told you. Hash, this one, single line. And these lexical units are having their specific meaning used as specific position. So if I have written this code, I'm taking you through that code. So see this tokens. There was doubt, so it will be more clear by seeing this define. The more appropriate define. Individual words and punctuation tokens or lexical units. So the words which are used to define the program or execute the program, or the punctuators or the punctuation marks used to give the meaning to the program and tell the program that how to execute the program. Okay, let's suppose I have given dot here. What do you mean by dot? Means a particular line is terminating. In your English language or in your Hindi language, what you are doing? You are giving full stop. Anna, you are giving full stop. That means the sentence is getting terminated. Now the next sentence will start. Similarly, here the words are being used, which mean that particular particular sentence or particular word will execute in that way, and the punctuator marks which are being used will be used for a specific purpose and will be used to execute a particular code in a specific way. Okay, so these are the tokens, these are the lexical units. So these are your lexical units, these are your tokens: keywords, identifier, literals, operators, punctuators. Okay, why I am again and again focusing on these things, why I'm again and again going on the previous slides, why I'm again and again taking you through these things, because this is the fundamental thing. If you are able to understand these fundamental things, okay, then only you will be able to learn this language more easily and comfortably. Okay, so the students and the next part is your, which I left over, is your free to use for commercial purposes. So it is freely available. You just have to go to the website of Python. You just have or 3.6, whatever is good for you. Just install that executable installer for Windows x64-bit. So, okay, so install that Python, double click on that Python. Okay, double click on that Python, a dialog will appear, follow the instructions, and your Python IDE is installed. You can customize your Python as well. When you are installing the Python, you can customize your Python language. That there is a checkbox available at the bottom of the window, that is saying add customization to the Python installation. So you add the, then after doing that, he will be asking the code, the window will be asking you that do you want to change the path of the Python? If you want to change the Python path of the Python code, you can definitely change the code path of the Python language. Okay, now these are the components of Python window. When you will be seeing the ideally, you will be having the maximum, minimize, restore, close buttons. All the softwares are having these menus. Okay, file, edit, shell, debug option. The tokens I have already explained you. Now moving to keywords. Okay. Now moving to keywords. Keywords are words that have special meaning to Python interpreter. To Python interpreter. Okay, so I'm having a Python interpreter. Okay, so whatever I'm executing on the Python interpreter, the Python reserves these words for its own use. So let's suppose I'm I'm having print function. Okay, I'm having this class, I'm having return, I'm having for. So these are the keywords. These keywords are having their specific meaning. So for is used for looping purpose, if is used for conditional statements, class is used for your making a particular class which is having various functions, variables defined in a particular in a particular block of statements. You can say class is having a block of statements. Return is used to return a particular value to something else. Try is your conditional thing, that if you are getting some warning or if you are getting some error, that particular thing can be cached through try block. Else is there, so else is a part of if conditional statement. Okay, these are keywords, you can't change them. So whatever, however and whatever they are looking, in whatever sense they are looking, in whatever sense they are um, being being used, they will be used in that way only. You don't have to change them. You definitely don't have to change them, or never try to change them. If you will try to change them, then they will be not any more keywords. They will become your identifiers, they will become your variables. Okay, now I'm having identifiers. Identifiers are fundamental building blocks of a program. These are used to name different components of programs such as variables, methods, objects. So let's suppose right now I have given a value, a variable to a number, or you can say I have assigned a number to a variable, number equal to 345. Right now in the screen I executed this number equal to 2345. So what I am doing is that I am assigning 234 to a number. Okay, so number is your variable. You can give a, x, y, z, whatever you want. Whatever you want, you can give name as well. You can give dollar name. You can give x underscore variable. Okay, these are valid identifiers. Okay, these are your valid identifiers. It can work upon. But there are few invalid identifiers which you cannot use, and the user cannot define those variables. So this is a fundamental building blocks of a program used to name different components of program such as variable, methods, and objects. Okay, so you can define them. You can define variables also. Okay, you can define methods also. Methods means functions basically. You can define objects. Objects means the a entity, a running entity of a particular class. So class is a blueprint where object is acting as an entity, working entity, to run or execute that particular uh, class or particular program in your real-time example, in your real-time scenario. So invalid identifiers. What are invalid identifiers? Three name. You never ever give a integer or a number before a variable or an identifier. So this is an invalid identifier. Never ever give this type of variable or identifier because it is having a space between this. Are you able to see this space? So you never ever give this variable, this identifier or variable with a space. Never ever give a keyword. This is your keyword. Never ever give this keyword as an identifier. Okay, never ever give this keyword as an identifier. Next is your birth dot date. Never ever give dot in between uh, two words to make them a variable or to make them an identifier. Never ever give a dot in between. So what you can give is that never ever give space, never ever give dot. You are required to give underscore, see this underscore? Are you able to see this underscore? Text underscore variable. Okay. Now moving to your literals part, which I have already explained you earlier. So these are number literals. These are floating literals. Float literals. Okay, these are number literals. Okay, there are other literals as well. You can go through them. I have already told you them. Okay. I haven't explained this code.
Sir, can
Okay,
you?
I will be. Yes, what happened? Someone was asking some doubt. Is anybody is having any doubt? If you are having any doubt, please let me know. So I should move further now. Okay, my first unit is already almost complete. Almost whatever I have completed, I took a revision of that. So now I will be having float values and string values. Okay. Now what I will be having, I will be having float values and string values. So let me I'm having float. Now I'm having float. So let me write this float. Is a flow represent a floating point value. Represent a floating point. One more thing I'm going to tell you is that never ever give the initials capital. So this is always small. This is always small. Case sensitive. Remember the case sensitivity of the programming language. What do you mean by floating point value? The decimal point value, which is having some decimal. So 6.0 is your float. 6.0 L is your larger floating value, or you can say numeric type of floating value. Whereas in int is your integer type of value. Whereas in float is a numeric type of values. Okay, integer means the numbers, the 1 0 2 3 4 5, which do not have any points or decimals between them.
सर नेगेटिव
Whereas
दे
in
दो.
क्या लिख दें? Negative.
नेगेटिव.
You can give in integers you can give negative. So let's suppose
फ्लोट
I have
में.
given n. Float में yes you can give it. Definitely you can give it. You can give uh, x equal to minus 10.0 and print that x. So let me try it. Okay, I'm giving you the exam. I'm trying it this on the screen, window screen. So x equal to minus 10.5. Okay, print this part, print x. We'll be having this value minus
सर हमने
10.5.
इसमें वो डेटा टाइप
So
डिफाइन
this,
करा नहीं.
so automatically in the background the Python is able to understand. That's why it is an easy language. That's why it is a simple syntax based programming language. You don't have to define syntax again and again. Okay. So in Java and C++, what you were doing, you have to define that this
सर डेटा टाइप
variable
डिफाइन
is
देना पड़ता है.
integer x equal to 5, or float y equal to 10.0, or double z equal to 15 d or 15l. So you
स्टेट
have to
सर.
define, you have to define there. But here what you are doing, you are just simply giving, and it is able to understand that part, and it is able to give you the output. But one problem lies in this, that is of typecasting or the type mismatch. This is one of the disadvantage of programming this Python. But it is not so very much, you can say, a big problem for the programming language. It is a small problem. You can rectify that problem. How can we rectify that problem is by defining that variable with the data type. Okay, let's suppose I'm writing x equal to float. In bracket I am giving any number, so that number will be converted into float. Okay, in the programming, in the last to last class, I took a program. I gave you a program in which the program was executing and the division was happening. I think so. I have done this with 11th class. I have not done with you. Okay, let it be. I will tell you in the next session, or in next session, when the programming part of that will come, how that integer is getting converted into float, how that float is getting converted into higher parameter, or a string or double, whatever you want. Okay, so this is this much. Now, last one I am going to tell you is string part. Okay, and through the presentation. So float is done. So next is your string. So I am writing string. So let's suppose you always give this in small. Okay, you please make a habit of this, else it will generate the error. So it represent a collection of characters. Okay, simply a collection of characters. So if I'm giving x equal to some variable, or you can say x equal to in quotes I'm giving ABC. So that ABC now will be acting as a string because I have given it inside a quotes. So I have given inside a quote. So you can define that quotes, single quotes or double quotes. So how can you go through is about through single quote, single or double quotes. Okay, this much. Now single or double quotes. So I'm telling you the program of this part. Then I will be wrapping up this session. Um, so see the code. Are you able to see this screen arrangement? So let's suppose d equal to single quotes, and I've given any name inside. Now if I'm executing this, it is working fine, no issue. Now I'm passing d inside this print. It will print that string. So it is a collection of characters getting printed. Okay. Okay, then so in the last thing I have to tell you is that d equal to, if I give double quotes, so you can give in this way as well. Print d, still it is executing. Okay, so you can give single quotes and double quotes. Fine. I have covered this basic stuff, basic to basic stuff. Okay. So now you go through them, the part which I have given you the assignment. You can go through them. There are types, type function, input function. Yes, Ansh, what you are, Ansh?
Sir, I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, okay. Then I'm having, you are having in type function, you are having input function, you are having operators and types of operators. Please go through this so that it is easy for us to move as soon as fast in the syllabus. Okay. So I have marked your attendance. Whosoever has given the name, I marked their attendance, and I'm getting only 15 to 16 students who have given their name. Okay, so Abhinav, Ellen, Ansh, Anubhav, Anushka, Aarti, Ashwin, Jeevesh, Joshua.
Sir, that is Agrani.
Oh, sorry, Agrani. Okay, Nyasha, Rishika, Sahil, and Yash. Okay, done. I'm done with the session. Next class, I will be moving with the second chapter, other remaining topics. You, whatever I have given you, you go through them. Okay.